Hey everyone, welcome to the second episode of the Terminal Classroom with IoT. So in this episode, I will teach you how to connect the Terminal to a Wi-Fi network so that the Terminal can act as a Wi-Fi client. Also, I will talk about HTTP GET request and HTTP POST request. So in HTTP GET request, I will build a simple local web server on the computer, and the Terminal will request data from that server and display on the serial monitor of Arduino. And in HTTP POST request, I will use a Grove temperature and humidity sensor based on the DHT11 sensor and connect it to the Terminal and send the temperature and humidity sensor information from the DHT11 sensor to a server named as ThinkSpeak. Also, I will build a simple user interface to display the temperature and humidity sensor information on the Terminal LCD screen. So to learn all about this, let's jump straight into the video. First of all, I will talk about the different Wi-Fi configuration modes on the Terminal. So the Terminal can have two different Wi-Fi configuration modes, and they are station mode, which is STA mode, and access point mode, which is AP mode. So in station mode, Terminal acts as a client and it can be connected to other Wi-Fi networks. So according to this diagram, you can see the Terminal is connected to this Wi-Fi router. However, in access point mode, Terminal acts as a server and basically it acts as a Wi-Fi hotspot. So according to this diagram, you can see that this mobile phone is connected to the Wi-Fi network generated by the Terminal. So now let's look at how the Terminal can be connected to a Wi-Fi network. Start by opening Arduino. Now let's start writing our codes. So first of all, we need to include the Wi-Fi library. Next, we have to set the Wi-Fi name and the Wi-Fi password of the network that we want to connect. So here I will come back to completing the Wi-Fi name and the Wi-Fi password after I have completely written all the codes. So inside the setup, let's start serial communication first. After that, wait until the serial monitor is open. Next, add a delay. After that, set the Wi-Fi configuration mode as station mode. Then disconnect from an access point if it was previously connected. After that, print the following string. And then connect to the Wi-Fi network. After that, let's attempt to connect to this Wi-Fi network again if it doesn't get connected here. Next, print the following strings. And finally, print the Terminal's IP address. Now let's fill the Wi-Fi name and the Wi-Fi password. So after you have filled the Wi-Fi name and the Wi-Fi password of your Wi-Fi network, you can go ahead and connect the Terminal to your PC by using the USB cable and then turn it on. After that, upload this code to the board. After the code is uploaded, open the serial monitor and you will see it shows Wi-Fi connected after it's connected to your Wi-Fi network. And this is the IP address of the Wio terminal. You can also list a number of Wi-Fi networks so that the Wio terminal will connect to the Wi-Fi network with the best signal strength. So to do that, we can modify this code. So let's open a new Arduino sketch, copy this code, select all and copy, and then paste it here. After that, you need to include another library called Wi-Fi multi.h. Then delete this and type the following to initialize the library calls. After that, insert a line here and add this code. So this is to add multiple Wi-Fi networks. Copy this and paste here. So this is the first Wi-Fi network and this is the second Wi-Fi network, and you can also create another one to add another Wi-Fi network. So you can have as many as Wi-Fi networks as you want in this list so that the Wio terminal will connect to the Wi-Fi network with the best signal strength. So here we need to delete this and replace with So that is it for this code. So you can fill your own Wi-Fi network name and the password for each Wi-Fi network that you want to put inside this list. So now let's talk about Internet protocol types. There are two main Internet protocol types, namely TCP and UDP. So TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol and UDP stands for User Datagram Protocol. So these two protocols are mainly used for transmission of data. So this TCP is the most widely used protocol on the internet, and when you visit a website or access an email, you are using TCP. But UDP is mainly used for streaming video, gaming, VoIP and live broadcasts. So now we will see why UDP has restricted applications than TCP. So TCP establishes a connection between a sender and a receiver before sending data. However, in UDP, a connection is not established between the sender and a receiver before sending the data. So TCP guarantees no packets are missing and all data sent makes it to the recipient. But UDP allows missing packets and the sender cannot know whether a packet has been received or not. Also, TCP sends packets in order so they can be easily stitched back together. However, UDP doesn't send the packets in order. Finally, TCP is slower and requires more resources than UDP, but however, UDP is faster and requires few resources than TCP. So those are the main differences between TCP and UDP. Now let's look at how the Wio terminal can act as a client, connect to a Wi-Fi network and obtain data from a website. So in this case, we are using the TCP protocol for the communication. So how does it work? So normally when you want to obtain data from a web server, you first need to send an HTTP GET request from the Wio terminal to the web server via internet. And the web server will reply with an HTTP response back to the Wio terminal over the internet. So HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and this kind of connection is not very secure. So in the next video, I will explain how to build a secure connection between the client and the server using HTTPS, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. So later in this video, we will use this concept of HTTP GET request and obtain data from web servers via HTTP responses. So moving on to a simple Wi-Fi client demo, we will set up a web server on the PC and try to connect the Wio terminal to that web server send an HTTP GET request to obtain the data that we need via an HTTP response. So here, since it's a local web server, the VIO terminal and the PC will be connected to the same network. Now let's set up a simple web server using Python on the PC. So open Notepad and type this to create a simple web page. After that, save this and specify the location where you want to save it. After that, select all here and then name the file as index.html and click save. So now we have created an HTML file called index.html. Next, you need to make sure that you have Python 3 installed on the computer. So if you don't have Python installed, you can go to this website python.org and go to downloads and select the relevant installer based on your operating system. So in my case, I'm using Windows, so I will choose download Python 3.9.0 for Windows. And when you click this setup, make sure to check this box, add Python 3.9 to path. So this can make sure that Python can be run inside the command prompt. After that, follow the installation wizard. Next, open command prompt. Also, if you are on Mac or Linux, you can use terminal. And navigate to the location where you place the index.html file. So here we have placed inside the desktop. So now we need to run this Python command. So once we hit enter, it will start the Python web server. Now let's go back to the Arduino code that we used before to connect to a single Wi-Fi network. So let's do some modifications to this code. So the library inclusion is the same, the Wi-Fi name password setting is the same, but here we need to add one more line before the setup, and that is using the Wi-Fi client class to create TCP connection. Next, we will keep all these codes and change this to and add another line, and that is to print the Wi-Fi name. Now let's move on to the loop. So inside the loop, first specify the default port of the server, which is 80, and specify the IP address of the server. So here, to find the IP address of the computer, just go into command prompt and type ipconfig, and here the IPv4 address means the IP address of this PC. So we will be using this IP address in our code. Remember, this should be between double inverted commas. Then type the following lines. Next, let's attempt to connect to the server if it's not connecting. Next, send an HTTP GET request to obtain the .html document we are hosting inside the Python web server. Next, store the max loop as an integer. After that, wait for the server's reply to become available. After that, check for the condition when the server replies back. This is to read back one line from the server response. So this is to print the string from the server. Next, disconnect from the web server. Finally, wait for a few seconds before restarting. At a delay of 5 seconds. Now let's check whether the server is still running. So if you check the command prompt, you can see the server is still running. So let's upload this code to the VAIO terminal. Now open the serial monitor . And you can see the server sending back the HTML document. So next, let's look at how HTTP POST requests work. So a simple HTTP POST request looks like this. So the VAIO terminal, acting as a client, sends an HTTP POST request to a server, and then the server responds back saying that it has received this HTTP POST request. So we mainly use HTTP POST request to send data from the client to the server and then store that data on the server. So here we will use the ThinkSpeak server, which offers a free API that enables you to store and retrieve data using HTTP. So it can be used to publish and visualize data in charts from anywhere in the world. So next we will look at a demo of sending sensor data via the VAIO terminal to the ThinkSpeak server and then visualize those data on charts. So here we will use the Grove temperature and humidity sensor based on the DHT11 sensor and connect it to the VAIO terminal. Show the readings on the VAIO terminal first and then send the sensor data via the HTTP POST request to a ThinkSpeak server and then visualize the temperature and humidity data on charts. Now let's look at the Arduino libraries that we need for this demo. First of all, we need the Wi-Fi libraries to enable Wi-Fi connectivity on the VAIO terminal. So if you go back and check the first video of the VAIO terminal classroom with IoT, you can follow along to download and install the Wi-Fi libraries on the VAIO terminal. So for this demo, apart from the Wi-Fi libraries, we need the Grove temperature and humidity sensor library and the FreeFonts library. Visit this URL and download this library as a zip file. After that, visit this URL and download this also as a zip file. Now let's open Arduino. Go to Sketch, Include Library and add .zip library and point to the location where we just downloaded the libraries and select Grove temperature and humidity sensor master and click Open. So now we have successfully installed this library. Now let's save this file. After that, go to the location of the freefonts.zip file and extract it. Then go into that folder, copy the freefonts.h file and paste it inside the directory where we just saved our sketch. Now let's go ahead and set up ThinkSpeak and obtain an API key. Go to thinkspeak.com and create a free account. Click here to create a free account. So once you enter your credentials and continue, you can create an account here. But however, I have created an account already, so I will log in to my account. So after logging into your account, go to new channel and set a channel name. So here I will set as DHT11 temperature and humidity values, and for field 1 I want the temperature, and for field 2 check this box, I want humidity to display, and finally click Save Channel. So now we have created two charts, one for temperature and one for humidity. Next, if you go to this tab API keys, so this write API key can be used if you want to write data to a channel. So for example, in our case we are going to send the sensor data, and that data will be written to this channel via this API write key. On the other hand, if you want other people to view your channel and all the data available in the channel, you can use this read API key to obtain that data. So we will use this API key later in our Arduino code. Now it's time to start coding for this demo. So go to the location where you saved the empty sketch and open it. Next, open the sketch that we used before to connect to a Wi-Fi network. So let's copy this code and paste it inside our new sketch. Now we will do some modifications to this code to make it work. So first of all, we need to include more libraries. So I include the DHT library. Next, include the TFT LCD library. And finally, include the free fonts library. Next, initialize the TFT LCD and the sprite buffer. Then define the signal pin of DHT as 0. So this will be the D0 port of the Wire terminal, and later we will connect the DHT11 sensor to the D0 port of the Wire terminal. Next, define the DHT sensor type, and finally initialize the DHT sensor. Then we will keep these two lines to enter the Wi-Fi name and the Wi-Fi password. After this, type the following. So this will be the domain name for the HTTP post request. So here we are using the ThingSpeak server, so the domain name for that would be. After that, type the following. So here you need to enter the write API key from ThingSpeak to send the data to the ThingSpeak server. So before I have shown you this, so let's copy this API key and paste it inside here. Next, we will use the Wi-Fi client class to create TCP connections. After this is the setup. So inside the setup, we have written the codes to connect to a Wi-Fi network, and here we will add this. So this will print the Wi-Fi name first, and then after this print an empty line. Then start the DHT sensor. I'm sorry, here shouldn't be a new line, so it's just printing this line and printing the Wi-Fi name after this. Next, we will move on to drawing on the LCD screen of the Wire terminal. So first, set up the LCD. So this is to start the LCD and then set the TFT LCD rotation and finally fill the background in black color. So this is what we are going to display on the WyoTerminal LCD. I have first drawn this on the Gravit Designer and transferred the coordinates into the Arduino code. So in the second video of the WyoTerminal Classroom with ArduPi video series, I have explained how to use Gravit Designer to draw shapes, text strings and numbers so that you can transfer the coordinates of the shapes, numbers and text strings onto the Arduino code when you want to display this on the WyoTerminal LCD screen. So you can go back and check that video first, and I will also give a link in the video description down below. First, I will draw this rectangle. So to get the location, when you click on this rectangle, you can see the X and Y coordinates are 0 and the width is 320 and the height is 50. So we will fill this according to these coordinates. And the color will be yellow. Next, let's draw this text string, but before drawing, let's set the font. So here we will be using the freefonts.h library to set the font. So before, in the third video of the WyoTerminal Classroom video series, I have explained to you how to set different fonts using the freefonts.h library. So you can go back and check that video first, and also I will give a link to that video in the video description down below. But here I will briefly explain how to use the freefonts.h library. So when using the freefont.h library, there are 3 ways to reference fonts. So in this video I have used this method to set the font, but if you want to use the other methods, you can check back the video I mentioned before to learn more about using the free fonts. So as you can see, you can use 3 different fonts, 3 different font styles and 4 different font sizes. So by referring to this, we can set the font. So let's set the font as FSB 12, which means free font serif bold with the size 12. Next, set the text color to black. And finally, draw the text string with the coordinates 40 in X and 15 in Y. Next, let's draw this temperature text string and the humidity text string. After that, draw for this C and percentage RH. Finally, draw this horizontal line. Now we will move on to the loop. So inside the loop, type this . So here we will print the domain name of the server. Next, we will check whether the WyoTerminal is connected to the server. So here this is a logical NOT operator, so which means client.connect. If this is not connected, it will print connection failed. Else, if it is connected, it will display connected to server. And here I added 80 because 80 is the default port of HTTP connection. Next, assign a variable to store temperature information from the DHT11 sensor. Next, assign a variable to store humidity information from the DHT11 sensor. Next, let's set the data needed to send along with the API key. So after we run this, the temperature information stored in the variable t will be converted into a string, and that will be passed onto this field 1. So here inside ThingSpeak, this is field 1 chart and this is field 2 chart where we have defined here. So this field 1 is this, and it corresponds to the temperature values sending from the DHT11 sensor. Now we will set for field 2. And here should be H, because H variable stores the humidity information from the DHT11 sensor, and that will be sent to this field on ThingSpeak chart. After this, proceed with line endings. Next, make an HTTP post request by typing the following codes. I'm sorry, here should not be an underscore, it should be a hyphen. Next, print a string on the serial monitor to confirm that the data is sent to ThingSpeak. Next, we will draw these values to display the temperature and humidity sense information on the wire terminal LCD screen. So here we will be using small sprite buffers of small size so that not much of RAM will be used for displaying these numbers. You have to make sure to use sprites, because otherwise you will not be able to use the wire terminal LCD screen and the Wi-Fi together. Start by creating a small buffer of length 55 and height 40. Next, fill the background color of buffer. After that, set the font type and the text color. Next, display the temperature data. After that, push this to the LCD and clear this buffer. Repeat the same procedure for this humidity value. Now move out of this else statement and type this. So this is to disconnect from the server, and now let's wait for 10 seconds to send the next post request. Finally, add your Wi-Fi network credentials. Now connect the Grove DHT11 sensor to the Grove digital port of the wire terminal. Connect the wire terminal to a PC using a USB cable and turn it on. Finally, upload the code to the wire terminal. Now open the serial monitor . And you can see that the data is being sent to ThingSpeak server. Now when we open ThingSpeak, we can visualize the data from the DHT11 sensor. So this is the temperature information and this is the humidity information. So that's it for this video. If you guys like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated with us. So see you guys in the next video.